So I quit my job over a month ago to pursue my dream of making a living online with my creative pursuits. And so far, I don't have any regrets. Like before I did this, when I was working my day job as a physical therapist, I would dread every morning. Or actually, the dread would start at night. So I would get the Sunday scaries like crazy, and pretty much anything past noon on Sunday, I was dreading the start to my work week. And during the week, every night before I go to bed, I'm like, oh God, I gotta work in the morning. And the thing is, I didn't hate my job, right? Like, a physical therapist is a pretty good job. But the thing that I didn't like about it is it's something that I felt like I had to do. It's something that I felt like I didn't have complete autonomy over. I wasn't really in the driver's seat. I wasn't choosing to do that. It was something I was being told to do. And it was really that aspect of it that I didn't like. And that's really what led to my dread week after week. And so I had this mindset, like I think a lot of people do, where I was living for the weekend. So what is that? 2 out of 7 days of the week I would enjoy. And then Monday through Friday, it would just be just something that I'm getting through. It was just something I was working towards to get to the weekend. But then the interesting thing is that because Sunday I had the dread of the week after, it was really only 1/7 of the week that I was looking forward to. Saturday, that was it. And that's just no way to live at all. And so that honestly led me to drink probably a little more than I should. And the thing that I decided to do was to quit my job so I could chase my dream. And I did so in what I would consider to be a safe way. I'm already making some money through YouTube, not enough to replace my day job income, but enough to give me the light bulb moment of, I can do this if I keep working towards it. And so what I did is I saved up I saved up about 8 months of living expenses. And that I felt like was enough of a runway to give myself that chance and kind of take that leap of faith. And so ever since I did that, ever since I quit my job, the number one thing that it has given me is what I have been wanting all along, which is freedom, right? I think a lot of people want that. I think most people want that in some capacity. So when I wake up now, I can do whatever I want. I can work toward my dream, right? Which is usually what I end up doing. Or I can take a day trip. I can game if I want to. I can watch TV. I can read. I can literally do whatever I want. And there's something really freeing about that, hence the word freedom, I guess. But yeah, it's really empowering that I have that autonomy and that choice, because I didn't have that in my day job. Now, just because I have all this freedom doesn't mean that I'm living this life that I think a lot of people preach. You see people who are traveling around the world and that's all they do. And don't get me wrong, when I quit my job, I did take a month-long trip to Thailand, but I did that as a celebration and a sort of precursor to, okay, now I'm going to start working on my dream now. Sort of gave me a taste of, I don't know, the traveler's life, I guess. And so anyway, I say that because my days don't look glamorous most days. I pretty much have a job, but it's a job of my own choosing, and I am my own boss. So every weekday, 8:30 to 4 o'clock, I'm working. And I work on various different things. It's either my YouTube channel, it's either on web design, or it's building out my school community and making it the best it can be. And so during the week, those are my 3 main things that I do. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning, I work on web design. And then in the afternoon, I work on my school community Tuesday and Thursday in the morning, I work on YouTube, and then in the afternoon, I work on web design. And that's it. That's what I do during my week. And so I think a lot of people would find that to be boring, right? Because every day is pretty much the same. Like I switch up what I'm working on, but I'm always at that computer over there. I'm always working, and I'm always there or at my counter filming a video, or here filming a video. But my days pretty much look the same. So I think a lot of people would look at what I'm doing and say, wow, that freedom doesn't really look that glamorous. And it's not from the outside. But the thing about it is that I feel good. I feel good doing this. I feel good working towards something that I believe in. And it feels good to just have the autonomy to be able to choose to do this. It's probably not for everybody. Like, I have a very achievement mindset, and I probably base a little bit too much of my satisfaction on achievement. But in any case, so I'm able to do this, and I'm able to, work on my own and have the willpower to do this day in and day out. But with that being said, like, there is a dark side to quitting my job and pursuing, this dream of being financially free through my creative pursuits. And there's a lot of self-doubt. And that's probably even stronger now that I've quit my job, because the path before me is not clear at all. It's entirely foggy. Like, the problem with what I'm doing is that there's no clear-cut path to success. Like, there's no model I can emulate. Like, there's no one well, maybe there is, but I just haven't stumbled upon one. There's no one that I know who's running a YouTube channel, kind of documenting their journey with web design, but also running a school community, helping others to launch their YouTube channel. Like, there's no one that I can copy or model success off of. So, like, everything that I do is pretty much trial and error. And that is neat in a concept of carving my own path, but it's also really hard because it's kind of a novel path, novel-ish. There's always this self-doubt of, can I actually do this? Like, can I actually make this a reality? And, like, I've been able to make money with YouTube, and, there's been months where I've made over $1,000, but that's not enough to replace that's not enough to cover my living expenses. And, there's a different belief that has to happen with being able to make some money online to being able to completely replace the income that I was making before. And to be honest, there is some self-doubt there. People keep saying that, oh, you always hear advice, you got to have the belief in order to make it happen. I don't think that's true. Or maybe it's true, but I don't have that. Like, I have some belief, but it's not 100%. I know that there's a chance that I could fail and I could not make this happen. And so I think the important thing that I'm doing is that, and I think probably the more important thing is to just take action regardless of whether or not you have belief. Because, maybe over time, if I take enough action over a long enough period of time, maybe that belief will start to become stronger. Or at least that's sort of been the case with at least the little bit of success I've had so far. And so, yeah, this is all, the self-doubt is also stronger because my bank account is dropping. Every month, $3,500 gets wiped out of my account. And while, again, I do have some money coming in, it's not enough to completely buffet the amount of money that leaves my account. And so every month I see that number drop, that number drops, that number drops. And that's a little bit, it's unnerving. And it kind of does a couple things. It, one, lights a fire for me to work harder, which is good. But two, it also puts a lot of pressure on me to try to make this work when a lot of times the universe has its own timeline, and I can only do so much to do what I need to do to achieve what I want to achieve. But I do think that the universe has its own timeline, and whatever it you know, I don't want to say like my destiny is that I have no what's the word I'm trying to say, control over my life, willpower, so to speak, or free will. That's the word I'm looking for. I do think I have a certain amount of free will, but I do think also there's an element of there's sort of a timeline to achieving things, and no matter how much I work, there's going to be just a timeline that I have to get over in order to get to where I need to be. And that might not be 6 months. I have about 6 months left, and maybe it's longer than that. Maybe it's a year. And so if that's the case, then, I'd have to get another job at that point. But I really hope that I don't have to do that. And so the other thing that doing this journey, the other downside is that there is kind of an element of shame with it, right? And that's because I'm striving towards something that's very unconventional. And so I find this is most prominent when people ask what I'm doing. What am I up to now that I'm no longer working? And so when I explain what I'm doing, where, I'm trying to make money with YouTube, web design, and communities, and people are just like, what? What are you talking about? Because, most people think YouTube is like a hobby. A lot of people don't realize that you can make a full-time income with YouTube. And so when I talk with friends, I do feel, or just anyone else that asks what I'm doing, there's an element of, I think shame's the right word, because I'm not, it's an unconventional career path, and I haven't really owned it yet. And I think that's probably why there's an element of shame, is I haven't completely owned it, but I haven't completely owned it because I haven't achieved like my goal of replacing my income yet. And so I imagine that will come with time, but that sort of can be a difficult thing to wrestle with, because there's an identity crisis there. Like, who am I? When I was a physical therapist, it was very easy to tell people what I was. I identified as a physical therapist. And so now if I go on a date, or if I meet someone new and they ask, what do you do? I'm like, I'm a YouTuber, web designer, and community builder. It feels fine to say it to the camera and to you, because you all pretty much know what I'm doing if you followed me for any length of time. So it doesn't feel weird saying that. But for someone completely new that has like a conventional, traditional job, it feels very weird to say, that I'm a YouTuber, because again, I think most people view that as a hobby. So a lot of this is self-imposed, right? Like, these aren't real problems. These are problems that are in my mind, and they're not real. Or they're real, but they're not. Like, if I just reframed all of this, these wouldn't be problems. But these are, some of the things that I go through that aren't so glamorous when it comes to quitting my job. There's a lot of pros to it, because I can dedicate so much time to accomplishing my goals. But, there are those downsides of the self-doubt and the shame that creep in every now and again. And that's just something I have to combat. And I think the only way to combat that is to keep, it's really just to keep pushing forward. That's it. So, I guess in summary, quitting my job has been immensely helpful, because it has given me what I value most, which is freedom. Freedom to achieve my dreams, to accomplish my goals. I know it sounds kind of corny to say achieve my dreams, but it's true. It's true. My dream is to be able to work on my own, be able to work remotely, and be able to do creative work. Those are my 3 values for having what I would consider to be a very satisfying career. And so that's what I'm working towards. But, you know, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, like I outlined in this video. And, but I do think that it's worth it. And there's one, there's sort of like one quote that I heard, it was a few months ago, that really resonated with me. Love him or hate him, but it's from Joe Rogan. And he said that you should live life like a documentary film crew was watching you. And that really resonated with me because I hemmed and hawed and sort of debated whether or not I should quit my job. And I kept prolonging it. I had 5 months living expenses. I had 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. It kept climbing and climbing and climbing. And I was like, when am I finally going to bet on myself? Because 8 months is a long time to be able to sustain myself. And so I heard that quote, you know, live life like a documentary film crew is watching you. And I'm like, I would have a much more interesting life if I bet on myself and quit my job. And so that's what I did. And so, not to say that my life is interesting enough for a documentary film crew to watch, but I think my metric is that when I'm old and I look back on my life, I think having the least amount of regret is going to be a sign of a life well lived. And so the last thing that I want is when I'm older to look back and say, wow, I wish I bet on myself. I wish I took that chance. I wish I quit my job and just went all in on my dream and my passion. And yeah, I don't want that regret. And so I sort of try to, any sort of decision or fear that I have, I think about what would leave me with the least amount of regret, and then I choose whatever I need to do to minimize that regret. And I'm not 100% flawless with that, far from it, but it is something that I think about a lot. Most people have dreams that stay dreams, and they think of it as a fantasy, and there's nothing really wrong with that. But I don't want my dreams to stay as dreams. I want my dreams to be concrete goals that I can actually achieve. And so that's what I'm aiming to do. And if you have dreams yourself that you actually want to make a reality, then I urge you to go for it. And it doesn't mean that you need to quit your job. I'm not saying that you should quit your job right now and pursue your dream. However, it's something that you should at least think about as a possibility if you can financially do it, right? Like I did it in what I would consider to be a safe way, and I had 8 months living expenses, like decent, comfortable, not like bare bones, like decently comfortable living expenses saved up. So if you only have 3-4 weeks that you could sustain yourself, I would not quit your job. Absolutely not. But if you have 6 months, you can always get another job. It may not be the same job that you had before. It might be a different job, but you know, you can always get a job. And you only have one life. And I think that, you know, you, like I just said, you should take those chances because the worst feeling in the world, in my opinion, is having regret. And that honestly, just thinking about it now just eats through me, just some of the things that I regret in life, some of the chances that I should have taken that I never did. It's such a painful feeling to have regret. So anyway, that's all I got for this video. Just wanted to give a little heart-to-heart update on what's been going on in my mind since I've been quitting my job. I am, going to be posting obvious weekly updates. I'm also doing like weekly short videos about just literally what I do during my day, just a way to stay accountable and to give you all just sort of an update on what I actually do during my day. So subscribe if you haven't, and quick plug, if you have always wanted to start a YouTube channel and are want to join a community of other people doing the same thing, then join my school community. There's a link below. lifetime free access for the first 100 members. There's still quite a few spots available, so feel free to sign up for that. And I will see you in the next video. Take care.